Am I doing this again? Check 1, 2. Oh, even, okay. Hey, I'll try it this way without a headset. I'll try it with that little mic on top of there, on top of the camera, see if it works. Welcome to Learn to Unlearn for this week. This is Luca Majno again. You're a very special guest, a host, I mean, beep. Okay, take 1. Okay, hi, this is Luca Majno. We're live. This is Learn to Unlearn, episode 23. We're doing pretty good. And in this episode, I wanted to talk about 2 things. At the end of the video, at the other end of the video, down there, I'm going to, no, actually it's down there for you guys. I'm going to let you guys hear a little rant that I did. And it's pretty important. It's to give people an idea of where they should be, you know, how they should focus, where they should line themselves up. And I saw one of the most amazing videos. I mean, it's not telling the truther or the researcher anything new that they didn't know already, as Dan, my friend, would say. But when you hear somebody 67 years old and who's been in there almost 35 to 40 years of his life, and he's validating you up and down about everything, everything that you talked about, everything that you thought, everything that you came up with. I was lucky because I was watching the video, and every time it would just be like a yep, or finishing his phrase for him, which was amazing too. David Icke was on with one show, and I have to tell you this because even though this is a healing show, it's my healing. This is how I'm healing. I'm dealing with today's atrocities and today's exposing crimes against humanity, whatever you want to call it. And to hear somebody like David Icke say things and just reverberate the same thing to me that I knew and that I felt for over 20 years, it's a piece of work. It really is. And I'm brave enough to tell people that I will share the video with anybody that would like it within reason. I tried to put it on YouTube once. I got that taken off. Then I saw the David Icke video again, taken off YouTube. Then within those 24 hours, it was taken out 3 times on Facebook. 3 times. I had to look at my fingers. It did. I saw it. I saw it up. Oh, I'll look at it later. It came back. It was gone. 3 people had posted it, and it was disappeared. So my question would be, what would a 67-year-old man have to say that would scare the crap out of people that bad to have it taken down 4 times in less than 24 hours? I kid you not. So I ended up doing my research. I found a link to download it, and I re-uploaded it, and guess what? You're right. It got taken down. Plus, I've got a warning on my page today on Facebook saying that, you know, this is a warning. Your posts do not go, how do they go against community standards, right? Speaking of community standards, the standards that this community of Earth has been living under has one word, and it's fear. And this is going to be for this week, because fear is either face everything and rise, or fear everything and run, or face everything. It's really cool. But anyway, it's going to be, this week is going to be about fear, because it's a very important message. And the message that David Icke gives us in that video all the way through, and then he mentions it once, and you remember when he mentioned it all the other times, he said that that's how governments are working. That's their one tool that they use against us, is fear. And we fall into it every time. We're afraid of authority. We're afraid of, you know, doing something without telling them. We're afraid of doing something without getting a permit first. Speaking of permits, yeah, you can't do anything with it. Breathing is probably the only thing you can do without having a permit for it. So fear is really important to encompass in this show, because I always like to say my show wants to take us away from fear, take us away from negativity, take us away from drama, take us away from toxic people. You know, this is what this is all about, because you can't heal if you have all those things and all those people around you. So I wrote something today, and I remembered when I talked about fear, the word, I remembered that I had taken a beautiful picture from Ron Haviv the fourth. He's a unbelievable photographer for National Geographic and other publications. And he took a picture of the people in Bosnia, totally terrified. And we know why, because the bombs going off and whatever going on during the Bosnian War. And I want to read this to you while I'm showing the picture, because it's something I wrote this morning, and I want to dedicate it to Ron Haviv the fourth personally. Fear is what they use. Fear is their weapon. Fear is how they win. Fear is how they operate. And without fear, we are unconquerable, untouchable, sovereigns. We're truth. We are truth. I mean, if we live in our truth and we know what the truth is, we are power. Because when you shed fear of authority, when you realize that this is all a bunch of nonsense and it's all a bunch of games that less than 1% are putting up against us, whoa, you know, and things are changing for me, because I'm really realizing that, you know, without fear, we are the winning team. And that's what I really wanted to say. And to me, it doesn't even really matter who wins this battle. It doesn't, because that's in the future. It's got nothing to do with right now. Right now, we have to build our strength. Right now, we have to heal. Right now, we have to get our priorities in order, you know? So it's about getting fear out of your heart. And at the end of the video, David Icke says that he talks about eliminating fear. But see, he's also somebody that's been in this business for over 30 years to 40 years or longer. And you really have to get peed off to really start to change your life. And that's about where I was at 5 years ago. So I'm starting to really feel it now, because I know what I'm talking about, because I've studied it for that long. And because I've been, you know, oh, no, it's not that. Oh, no, it's not this. You know, you're going somewhere and people go, no, over here. You know, I've been helped by so many people. And Roger Landry also, to speak of somebody who's really good at what he does and who's been called the encyclopedia, you know, he doesn't want you to prove him wrong. He doesn't dare you to prove him. How does he say that? He doesn't, we don't challenge you to prove us wrong. We dare you to prove us wrong. That's what he says. So I'm stealing his line, okay? And this is not rehearsed either. This show has no notes in front of it, just that one thing I wanted to read for you. And I'm going to finish off with just a rant that I had sitting outside, leaning against the porch, just, you know, chilling out and wondering what the answer is, because that's all I'm doing now. And I've been dealing with what I've been talking about the last 2 episodes, which is the up and down of the body, you know, healing and then bleeding and then healing. And then it all depends on this and on your heart. It does. It all depends on what you're doing, where you're at, if you're doing drugs, if you're doing alcohol, if you're, you know, whatever. It all depends on your habits. And what a great time to change habits. They say it takes, what, 2 weeks of doing something over and over again to change a habit. So change your habits, you know, kick the people out that are causing problems, or that are, you know, fear mongers, or that are, you know, like I was saying, toxic people or drama, you know. Gently remove yourself from, maybe not kick them out, but you know what I mean. Just remove yourself from all that. And there's so many quotes about that. Don't let fear into your heart. Remember? Do not let fear come into your heart. That sounds like tecumseh again to me. Tecumseh, the Shawnee prophet, that's what he said. And live your life, you know, and don't be afraid of anything. And at the time of death, sing your death song like a hero going home. It's that simple. And I'm starting to really understand it at 61 years old myself. It took me a long time. I woke up in the 90s, 94, 95. And the first thing that woke me up to the truth and to history and everything else was that face, that portrait that photographer took from Geronimo in 1909 before he died. Just that sad look on his face really changed my life around. Like, what is this? And it just woke me up to a whole bunch of things. And then what happens is that everything that you're interested in, that you're focused in, all of a sudden it turns into a mirror. It goes into you, and you have to figure out, why am I thinking all this? Why is all this interesting me? Oh, because I have that in my life. Eh? Oh, okay. I lived dysfunction in my life. I lived abuse in my life. That's where all that comes from. You know, we always get into what we recognize, and we recognize ourselves after that. And that was the start of my journey. And then I had to get really sick and then go through the first parts of this series with a doctor who was telling me, no, greens only for 2 days. And that's another story, or 3 days. She said 5 at first, okay? Only greens for 5 days. No, nothing else. Go to video 2 or 3, I think, for that one. So basically all this to say that in this video, that's what I'm doing. I'm telling people to shed their fear. We have to learn to unlearn, literally, taking what you know as, you know, in this box and putting it to the side, and or opening the box and taking everything out and looking at it all and just starting with an empty one. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised where that's going to lead you, because I'm living proof of it. So with that being said, I don't want to take people too long, but you know, it really is important to think of that. And yes, I'm still on my vitamin C, 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams a day of vitamin C, with half a teaspoon of turmeric and 6 or 7 twists of the black peppercorns together in one drink. I dare you. It's very good. And what it's been doing is it cleared out my my urinary tract. I'm bleeding a lot less. There's just intensity a little bit, because the second flow, or that second wave that comes after your urine comes out completely, I'm still having a bit of problems with that, with the backlash of it, but it's coming. And you don't have to take it 3 times a day. You just look at your body and you say to yourself, okay, what am I doing? How am I feeling? You know, ask yourself the questions. It's amazing. That's what I do. You know, never in my life have I ever stopped myself from eating either. One time I'm sitting there eating in my plate, something that I would just normally have 2 platefuls of, right? 3/4 of the plateful, all of a sudden my stomach goes, cut. And I was like, oh, okay. Put the knife down. That was it. Because I'm listening, because I'm taking the time to listen, because I'm taking the time to think of myself as a sovereign, sacred being that is worth the time to look at, right? Or to just investigate. I mean, I'm investigating everything else. What's the difference? Did I just swear? Anyway, so I hope that made people laugh just a little bit. So no, I've heard Roger Landry swear a couple of times on his show, so we'll just let that go. And yes, I will keep it in there. So I'm going to leave you with my rant outside, and please be safe and take care of yourself. And this is my show for the week. No homework for next week. There won't be a test on Tuesday either. Have a nice day. Well, since I can't go live, I'll just make a little video here right now, really quick, because there's nobody around to hear me. Just wanted to tell people to stay positive. Remember the nocebo and placebo effect, okay? If placebo can heal you, even if it's a little sugar pill and they don't tell you. It's your positive attitude that's healing you, okay? A negative attitude will do the same thing. I'm sorry about the wind, if there is any. A negative attitude will kill you, period. Being stressed out will kill you. It'll destroy your insides. And this is what I'm going through because of my research, because of my journalism and whatever. I have to decide now how far I'm going to go, because it's really, really disturbing your spirit, and it really takes a toll on your insides, basically. So very quickly, inside 2 minutes, just take care of your soul, take care of your spirit. Don't worry, don't live on worry, and don't live on fear. Just take vitamin C with turmeric and black peppercorns. And if you want the recipe, just message me and I'll give it to you guys. Have a good day, stay safe.